Chapter 8, Think and Rank. They have the three cups on a level surface. Rank the cups by how far they depart from the straight line path from most curved to least curved. And this is, as it rotates, how much of a difference is there between the two ends in terms of speed. Now B is slanted like that, C is slanted like that, and A is straight up. B is going to have the most deviation, just because of the difference in the circumference of the two ends. C will be next, and A is the least deviation from the path. In 52, we're looking at that. The key on this one is the way the normal force is being applied to the rollers. So C is going to be the most stable, because if you think about it, you've got basically it's narrowed right here. Let's do it from the sides. It goes up like this, and you have the rails right here. So the normal force perpendicular to the surfaces. So the normal force is pointing this way. And as it gets off kilter, there's going to be a greater normal force. So if it starts moving off to this side, this normal force will shrink, and this one will get bigger, pushing it back to the middle. B, on the other hand, is the opposite. So as it gets off kilter, so the forces are pointing outwards. As it gets off kilter, let's say it gets off kilter this way, this one shrinks, and this one gets bigger, so you get more of a push to the outside. And then A is in the middle, so CAB. 53, beginning from rest, we have the solid disc, the solid ball, and the hoop racing down the incline. Rank them in terms of winner, second place, and third place. The more rotational inertia there is, assuming that's right, well, mass and radius actually don't matter, and we may or may not have done that in class where I talk about that, or we would have talked about it. However, there's a math background for that, so if you're interested, please ask. I'll be glad to go through the math on that. The math officially is beyond the scope of the course. But as they roll down the incline, the more rotational inertia means that the more of the energy, from an energy point of view, more energy has to go into getting it to roll, and therefore there's less energy left over to get it to move straight down. And so C has the most mass sort of distributed to the outside, therefore C is going to be last. And now we're between the ball and the disc. Let's see, solid ball or hollow? Solid ball. So if you look at the formulas, the solid ball is 2/5 mr squared, whereas the disc is 1/2 mr squared. 2/5 is less than 1/2. Therefore, the ball should get down to the bottom first, followed by A, followed by C. Then 54, you hold a meter stick at one end with the same mass suspended at the opposite end. Rank the torque needed to keep the stick steady from smallest to least. So this is an R cross F kind of situation. You have this force acting downwards in all three cases, and the force is the same. The difference is how much of it is affecting the torque. So imagine if you have a stick that's going straight up with a mass pulling down, it requires absolutely no torque in order to hold it in place. And as you tilt it, you get more and more torque because the force is still acting down. And basically there are a couple ways of looking at it. If you want to not look at it from the point of view of what is that angle, if you think about the force going straight down, what is the shortest distance from where the torque is being applied to where the force is? So basically from the pivot point to where the force is applied, and A has that shortest distance right there. So holding it up like that, the force is acting down, so that is basically R cross that, R times that force. B is going to have the most torque, A is the least torque, C is in the middle, assuming it doesn't slip off. And then 55, 3 physics majors are in good physical shape, stand with their backs against the wall. Their task is to lean over and touch their toes without toppling over. Rank their chances from success to highest to least. And this comes down to center of mass. And so the bigger the feet are, the farther you can lean over. So C is going to go over the most. B's got more of a belly, and so that basically it's going to looks like it's increasing the side where the center of mass is. B is going to be the first to tip over. C has the biggest feet, so C is the least likely, and so A is in the middle. And that is it for Think and Rank. There it is.